A big willy welcome to you all on Steely Podcast, episode 2, season of the same number. It's time for the splendiferous things to come, such as guests. In the studio, we have guests. Guess how many? Yeah, some. And also, we're going to be having our quiz, as we always like to have a little bit of quizlings on here. We've got a competition for the listeners. I'm going to have phone in, so grab your telephonic device, grab your fax machine or your mother's hands, and shout all the answers to us, but phone up first, and producer Steve will have to let you go through, and you'll have to sign a waiver. But after that, we will have you talking live recorded on the studio radio airwaves. So get ready for some of this sauce, yo. Stay tuned. Yes, it's the Studio Radio Podcast, everybody. And guess what we have now? Yes, that's right, it's industry news. Oh, wait, guests. Well, let me tell you, sir, that these are some spectacular and fabulous guests we have on this wonderful show today. We've got this guest, who's called...
Matt Mangle.
Again?
Matt Mangle?
Who have you wanted before? I'm pretty sure I've heard your name before. Well, we got Mango, everybody! Yeah. And we got me! So there we go. Get ready for some real talk, some real... it's just us in the entire... producer Steve says he's here, but I don't think he is. So, it's just going to be mano a mano, giving you a piano of all the music, all the thing that we want to talk about on show. So let's get right into it, right up in it, and talk about industry news. That's right, it's time for the industry news bit, and we're going to be talking about the industry. So for our first topic of deliberation and discriminations, let's say, let's have a little, a bit of one-to-one here, have a bit of a talk about all things, all manner of such instances. Well, did you hear about in the news how there's the corporation that produces,
Who knows? The card game.
Rust, the company that produces Rust, is going out of business because everyone's got a bit, and you can find it really easy, on things. So they've got no real need to be making any more.
Well, isn't there a better quality Rust? Because
no.
Oh well, isn't it?
Also in the news, we got about how food thing we eat.
Tofu.
How do you know how it's actually produced?
Doesn't it involve wafting gases in front of a fan and collecting them in one of those cool boxes for it to ferment into a...
That is indeed how it happens. And also they get live cow and just kick it in the head until it dies, and then they throw its face into a mincer, and then they get a small or you can't say midget anymore, a small retard, and then they throw its battered remains from some sort of Holocaust oven on top, and then they get squashed all together, put it through a smoothie maker, delicious. But you got to think of all that electricity you're wasting while making it, so we've got to be conserve the environment, yeah. Black power, yeah. There's a fly. Look at him. But anyway, let's see the industry news, because That is all you need to know. When it comes to something like the industry, it's a very mandible and ductile form of entertainment or, thing, then you don't really need to know too much about it because you can always look, you always go and look, go out and have a look at it, go, tower, they're smoking good. The industry is okay. Right, now let's go on to the next section of the podcast, which is called Sport and Assorted Fun.
This is a new section.
It is indeed, Mangle, and this section of the podcast is dedicated to Abram Laghi, who sent in a little request on the, the old internet box through the router. He sent a request saying, and I have the sheet of paper here somewhere. No, what sounds like paper? We got this, this old thing here, and it says, "Dear producer Stephen." It does say Duct Tape Matt in a little bit of that. But yeah, dear Stephen, we noticed how no one listens to your podcast because it doesn't say anything about football, cars, or alpine resorts. So we are not going to listen anymore unless you talk more about sports and other fun things to do. So yeah. Duct Tape Matt is amazing as well, says there.
Was it written?
It was written by a real person.
Okay.
But so now on this section of the Studio Radio Ludcast, it's sports, especially assigned by Abraham, whatever his bloody name is. It's time for sports, and in this sports section, Mr. Mangle, I believe you're a firm supporter of
I am a firm
AIDS. Sport aid. No, not sport aid. I'm of course talking about the Lakeland Dippers performance at the Overton Arena. No, I cannot stand to see such young, honourable people fall that low in the honest, the old game. Have you had a stroke, Mangle? I remember you were talking a lot more clearly at the start of this podcast.
We don't talk about this stuff.
Oh, okay. But yes, the Lakeland Dippers.
Well, personally, I'm a fan of the Highland Lions more myself, and I think they've stood a better chance considering none of their players have suffered a brain hemorrhage in the last few weeks.
Well, so none of their players are any good, so that's how it works around here. Lakeland Dippers, though, gotta be honest, some of the best running you have seen on a human being in a long time. And if you see the way they have that control they have of the the game object, the ball, the control they have of that ball is incredible. And you wouldn't expect to see someone like the Brown Streaks doing that well, would you? You wouldn't expect to see anyone from the East Division doing that well, or the Gleeman League. No one else is hitting the same level as the Old Dippers. And you can't really say that Highland Lions are going to be are going to be doing as well as the Dippers.
Well, I think they are, personally. The problem with the Dippers...
But what evidence do you have?
Well, the Dippers, they always play a 3-2-1-3-2, and the problem with that is to leave the players on the other side of the arena which they're playing, and they leave that place exposed to a counter terrorist threat from the Highland Lions.
But also the Highland Lions, they don't even play using your standard Madden procedure. They always play having a 5-5 split on the second half, and then you have a 4-5 on the back end. It's never going to work like that. It's never going to work like that.
Yeah, but they always leave time for however the allotted amount of time for a particular match. They always leave time towards the end of it to cool down the other team with a fire hose and take the match by storm with a 3-point decision-making tribal.
But Mangle Stringcock, you have to understand that, you know, people like, you know, Juarez and Pedro Johnson, you know, and what's his name? That's it, Otto Green, you know, their performances with the Dippers are unmatched by any other team in that league. You cannot say that a Sunday match, you know, using the old Wood Hardy rules, they're not going to be following the same procedures as what the Highland Lions would be doing on a regular game. The Highland Lions are just, they're hooligans, sir.
I don't think you can call the Highland Lions hooligan when we all know what happened last week involving the Lakeland Dippers' final point set against the what was it, the Brownsbridge.
You've got to understand, when you have a feud going as far back as the one between the Highland Lions and the Lakeland Dippers, back almost 40 years now, back to when the game, the game come about. You know, back then, even then, getting glassed at a match wouldn't be out of the ordinary because it was just that violent.
Yeah, but this is my point. The Lakeland Dippers are a violent breed, whereas the Highland Lions try to procreate with technical ability rather than...
And the coach, because they're gay. That's not a slur though, we accept all gay faggots here. But, you know, the Lakeland Dippers, they're really something else. When it comes to a sport as honourable as this one and as violent and horrendous as this one, you've got to admit, Lakeland Dippers are leaps and bounds ahead of your grounds.
No.
Well, blimmin' hell, it's the end of the sports one, and I think it was a successful old sports commentary. A bit of inside from two regular chaps. But anyway, now on to the next bit of the Studio podcast. And for this bit of the Studio Radio podcast, it's entertainment newsings. So we're going to be having a bit of information about the. Yeah, so some recent films that have come out. No, they'll wet your whistle. Such as the new Arnold Schwarzenegger one that's come out.
I'm a fan of that.
Tin Man 3.
Tin Man? Oh, yeah, no.
Oh, Tin Man 4, I'm sorry.
Oh.
I'm not that behind the times, I swear.
I'm a fan of him. He has a great ability to
be German, and great ability, great ability.
Yeah.
So the plot of this one, it's a lot like the previous three films. You got old Tin Man, played by the German himself.
Played brilliantly
to a higher degree than maybe, what's some guests we had on here that were shit. Condomo, is a better fucking. Ooh, swearing. I have to bleep that out and post it. Steve. I'll let him know. But yeah, I forgot what we're talking about. But anyway, yeah, the story of glory for this film is just insatiable. It's the same as the other ones. It's pretty much Tin Man comes back from the future, and he's got to kill his own parents because he's just that sad of being made of aluminium in the future. Because that was my foot on the side, wasn't a fart. But it's supposed to be like back in the day. He was this man called Chinklets McGee, and old Chinklets McGee had a big problem because he found out he had a terminal eye cancer. So he couldn't really go and live his life. So what they did was they cut his head off and then stuck it on like a robot and then pulled his eye out and then gave him like an eye camera for an eye. And then he was like, I hate this life. I hate what I have become. So he goes, right, well, I'm going to invent a time machine and I'll just hop in it, hop right into that toy machine, boy, and go all the way back to 1741, where his parents lived, and he'd be like, "Oh, Mum and Dad, you birthed a monster," and then he would just go mental on him.
Yeah. Well, the problem with that is, I'm not a fan of the person who plays his mother, because she
Reasons?
had that. What?
Reasoning?
Yeah, she had that big scandal
Brilliant.
with she may be able to act, right? No one can deny her acting ability.
Well,
But when it
someone
comes-
in this room is.
When it comes to living in a mansion, she hasn't quite got the ability down to stay away from setting things on fire.
So, sometimes it's a compulsion. Sometimes people have these desires to create fires.
Yeah, and so how do you know that filming the film, that the tin used in the building of his pets wasn't melted away several hundred times when she insanely started fires?
Well, I heard from a little birdie, it was a black bird, and it said that the tin that they made his Tin Man suit from actually come from the remains of his house that his mother burned down after she had too many iced ginger ales. But enough of history. Whoa, that was good. Now it's time for a guest, and it's a better guest than all the rest of the guests.
Including me?
Yes, it's the new guest. We called him on the mobile phone this morning. Found him on a WhatsApp. Found him on that, and shot him a little text or whatever he sent him messages, and he has kindly answered the call to justice. And I've just seen the little dingy light come up on a desk in front of us here to show that the guest is ready and waiting. He's ready for entry into the studio. So, we'd like to bring in the guest. From yonder door, it's Guest! Hello there, Guest! Oh, who's the guest? Who's the guest? Well, we're about to find out. Guest, speak!
Hello. I'm
Guest!
mad with all these people I've been meeting in the streets just outside your bloody studio. There's 3 of them, all of them which are standing. It was lucky I could sit down on the floor, because if not I'd have been standing too.
It's our new guest, and this guest is called Ham Platter. And Ham Platter has come a long way, haven't you, Ham Platter?
Yeah, just
He's come all the way from, say, where are you from?
well,
He's from somewhere. Anyway,
Right.
Ham Platter is here because he's only gone and taken up the duty of fly killer of the week, and lives next to Henry the House. And Henry the House is an old friend of mine and Mangles from back in the day, back when we used to scout pubs and record on cassette players and visit the Queen. So we went there, and that's what we used to do lots. And now we've gone and found old this guy, Ham Platter. I found him, and all he was doing. What are you up to nowadays in Ham Platter? Because I know it's not a lot.
well, before you called me here to be a fly killer, I was working on the chair up upholstery. When the springs get water on them, and you have to change them for a more happier breed of springs to bounce better.
Well, talking of springs, there, boy, we've got an actual spring in the studio to remind you of the good work you're doing. So just put that there. Good.
It's a little bit patronising, really.
Well, it's a little bit real, isn't it? So now we've got the telephone calls. So we are now going to be taking calls on Mangle's mobile because producer Steve is evidently not here this week. He's ill. He actually has. I've just realised left a A4 piece of paper up on his little window that says, "I am ill and I will not be back until next episode." So that's where we know he's gone. So now we're going to be accepting calls through the mobile phone. So if you would like to talk to one of our fandabidozy guests, just phone in. The number is
Do we have to give
7.
my number out? Because I might need to use it.
You might need to use what?
My mobile.
You might need to use it, but also we need to use it for guest purposes and for calling purposes of the people. So anyway, phone in on Mangle's phone. It's 203. So we'll be waiting for your calls. Oh, and it looks like the little light is lighting up for the light of my life on the Lifeline phone. It's time for a caller. Hello, caller. What would you like to say to my wonderful guests?
Hello, this is Gabriel from when I was younger, your rival podcastians, and I'd just like to say, stop rivaling my fucking podcast, you twat. If I ever hear you speak ill of the damned again, I will kick you right in your fucking nose. So, you've been warned. Thank you for having me on your podcast. Have a nice day. Click. Betty, where's the hanging up bit?
Well, that was a little bit aggressive, and we always like to hear a bit of aggression on the studio radio podcastiniums, but unfortunately not like that. You know, your vulgarity, your angularity, and your disparity there is not something we want to hear. So let's go to our next caller on Mangle's phone. It's only 3, I think. No, it's only 12 pence a second, so you know what you're losing. You know, phone up, have a chat with Ham and Mangle and me on the Studio Radio Podcast. Let's go to that caller now. Yeah.
Hello.
Good. Well, they sound like they're having fun. So while they, splattercate all over themselves, let's go to our next caller, and I hope this one actually makes sense.
Duct Tape Matt, have you seen how they talk about you on the internet? Duct Tape Matt, have you seen how they talk about you on the internet? Hey, it's your boy, Ankle Face, and I'm just coming to you live from Greenfield about my new up-and-coming mixtape. It's new and available to you for the low price of nothing. So, get it while you can, Duct Tape Matt. This jam goes out to you. Enjoy. Jeez.
Well, thank you for that mixtape, Ankle Face. I'll definitely listen to it when I actually can be bothered or find it. So, there we go. There's some brilliant,
What do
melodic sounding guests.
What do they say about you on the internet?
So now we have the competition, and the competition will be grand, and including a grand prize of, well, we've hired this man. Yeah.
Is he a granddad?
No, f***ing shut up. He's a man that's come here, and what he's going to do is he's going to read the prize options in a very dramatic voice to make them sound better than they are. it's time for that man.
Well, thank you, Duct Tape Matt, and that is, in fact, what's going to happen now. It's time for the quiz! And the prizes for the quiz are as follows. You could be winning this lovely fan. It's cool, and it's made of paper. That's brilliant, isn't it? Now, the next prize, and I know you'll be enjoying your time away when you get to go to Surrey for a weekend. Now, if that's not tantalising your tittlebugs, then I've got another one for you. How about this lovely go-kart from 1945? It's a rare collectible, and don't touch it, otherwise you're going to get arrested because it's just in mint condition. If you touch this, you know. But anyway, also we're going to have some splendiferous things in your bank. Have you got any money? No? Well, win this quiz and we'll give you 17 pence. 17 pence? Yes? You're hearing that right. What about, sports and adventure holidays? Everyone's all talking about the sports and adventure holidays. We've got one, and the sports adventure holiday is playing badminton on Mount Everest at 4 o'clock today. So, get your answers in quickly and you'll get your chips in dipply. That's indeed how it works here. Now, back to Duct Tape Matt! Yeah! Oh, thank you! Oh, thank you!
Thank you for that announcement of the prizes, Mr. Prize Announcer. Now, the question and the quiz is follows. The quiz is as follows. It is the grand question that is open to Jesus Christ, not only members of the public, it's open to guests as well and me, and I know the answer. So options open to all. So let's see. Yes, here is the question. The question is this, as follows, on this paper now and forever. Amen. The question is, in the 1945 league of the good old game, who lost legendarily to the Brown Ring Miners? Under 10 team on a Thursday. That is the question, and you are going to really have to scratch your thimble bits and swingle your ding-dongs to get this answer. It's quite a tricky one. So who was legendarily defeated by the Brown Ring Miners in the old game on a Tuesday in the past?
Are we allowed to?
17 English pence is at stake for this answer.
Are we allowed to ask?
And don't forget, there's that all-important gamble round if you do have the right answer.
Are we allowed to answer whenever?
Yes, Mango.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna suggest.
Jesus.
It's those. Oh, what are they? It's those ones that got.
I think I'll make a guess. The answer. Do you want to hear yours first? I'm generous, aren't I? I'm bloody generous. I'll let them do it. I know. I could win. I could win.
It's that team that later got arrested. The manager of them got arrested. What were they?
You are on the wrong wavelength, my son.
Oh.
Why not give I
am Ham. I am a hammer.
Give Mango a go then.
Is it?
Hello! It's the Cavity Runners, isn't it? Hello, it's Lizzie. I've been eating a beat for a long time.
Oh my goodness gracious, Lacey has only just gone and bloody won the quiz. Lacey, how dare you? How dare you? Well, you've won anyway. So you've won a prize of your choosing.
Oh, I don't get all of them. I thought I got all of them.
No, you get only one of the prizes. So pick away, Lacey.
Well, I would like a holiday to Everest. So I'll probably go with that one. Yeah, that one.
Well, don't forget, you've also got the gamble around. Are you a thin-blooded heroin demon? Are you a crack whore's lay-by? Have you got all of your willingness to throw away the key? Have you got a back like a splintered armband? Well, it's time for the gamble round. And Lacey, I know if you win this one, I can guarantee you'll have 17p with you when you leave this building today. I can also confirm there's the special mystery magic prize. And Mr. Commentator Man, or prize announcer man, would you like to please specify what it is?
Will do, Duct Tape Matt, will do. We can confirm that the special magic... well done, Lacey. We can confirm that the special magic prize is half a trombone. If you can get that, you can be blowing yourself all the way home, all the way to Bethlehem, tuck up in bed, night night, knock knock. That's how it is, and that's how it'll be done. That's the special magic mystery prize. Now, back to the man himself, the bastard, Duct Tape Matt, and you can duct tape that to your cat flap. Now, yes.
Thank you, Mr. Commentator Man. So, yes, there is a second edition to all of this mystery and mischievousness this evening on the Duct Tape Podcast Matt Show. It's time for question deuce. And this question, Lacey, is one I think you're going to boggle a little bit. The question is as follows. What was the name of the third guest we ever had on studio radio? I'll leave that with you, Lacey. Can I have your final answer, please?
Oh, my great kitty aunt. Jesus, Matt, you've hit me with a tough one here. Was it me? No, it couldn't have been me. I lived here all along. All along. I know who it was. I actually know who it was. It was Orange Jumper Lady, wasn't it? It was! I'll be that. Stop walking.
That is the correct answer! Mr. Lacey, you're going to Mount Everest and you've got half a trombone to blow like a cocaine hooker off a toilet seat all the way there! Yeah! 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 It's brilliant! Brilliant! There we go. That is a wrap. That's a chicken sub Caesar salad wrap right there on your lap. It's the end of the Studio Radio Episode 2 podcast show. And guess what? It's been actually good. So go tell your friends, tell your family, tell your affairs, tell your mistresses, tell your children, tell your grandchildren how Lacey won this, and they should know what you're on about. Thank you, everybody, for being on the show today. Thank you for Mangling, thank you for Ham Shit, and thank you for Lacey, and thank you for producer Steve not being here because he didn't even was here and it was still good. So we winning the game of this show. Right. And everything. Thank you everybody for listening. I will see you on episode 3 when producer Steve should be back and hopefully not chaos. Thank you. Bye. Say goodbye.
Goodbye.
And the other one.
Goodbye.
Big Willy welcome, boys.
Sex hats.